CEO of Oversee.net.
Welcome, and on behalf of Scott, myself, and the entire Oversee.net team, we wish you a warm and very friendly welcome to DomainFest 2012. I must say, it started out pretty good for us. A group of us last evening went to the Los Angeles Clippers and Oklahoma Thunder basketball game. And yes, I did say Clippers, not Lakers. And it actually went very well, especially if you're from Los Angeles. Now, for those of you that are in Oklahoma, not so well. Some of the analysts actually think one of those two teams will be the one that will come out of the Western Division for the NBA Finals, so I hope so. The other thing that I did last evening, and I must say I was called a few names like Pitbull and a few other things, but I went around the room and asked people, what is the one event that you think may change the industry in 2012? Several comments I got back was that Facebook may syndicate and become one of the major players in the industry, that the bringing of domain monetization to the masses, almost like a GoDaddy type of model for domain monetization, consolidation of several major domain companies, and there were several other very good ideas. So what I thought I might do through the rest of this week is continue to talk some of that, and then we'll post the ideas on the website, and/or maybe I'll grab Ron or one of the bloggers and have him do a summary of the results. So welcome. For those of you that have been here before, welcome back. For those of you that have never been here, I think you'll see it's a beautiful facility, a great crowd. There's a lot of wonderful networking. I mean, the ideas already last night were pretty exciting, and I think they're just getting better because of the change in the industry, which I'll be talking about. And welcome to beautiful Los Angeles. Now, I was going to reach out before the conference and see if anybody wanted to go surfing with me, because I tend to be one of my things I like to do on the side is surfing. And someone said to me, Deb, are you nuts? You know, with the parties that we have till all hours of the night, no one's going to want to go surfing. So I decided it probably wasn't a great idea, although I'd be happy to do that next year if someone would like to do it. I will say that this particular picture, the surfer is Laird Hamilton, who I have had the distinct pleasure of surfing with. And I've been told I'm a bit of a risk taker on waves, but this dude is crazy. And just in case you want to know, no, this isn't Los Angeles. We could only dream about surfs this big. This was actually the North Shore in Oahu. Okay, the first thing I want to do out of the gate is to thank all of our sponsors. We would not have this good of an event without them. And there's been a lot that have shown up this year: gold sponsors, silver, bronze, and contributing. So we're forever indebted to all of you. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about the event roadmap. We tried to get a number of varied and deep content, both for some of the panel discussions and some of the experts that will be talking. And one bucket that we thought everybody would be interested in is the content for domain investors. Obviously, you're our friends. You've been the tried and true that have been here for many years. And so this morning we started off with new TLDs, and then domain valuation for buying and selling, and public policy update. I will also say, though, I don't think this is just for domain investors. Anybody that's interested right now in domains and really interested in building out in the internet should try to go to that buying and selling topic as an example. But I think what we're really trying to do with DomainFest, and we've started doing it the last several years, and I think we're continuing to do it, is broaden out. As the industry broadens out, it's not just domain parking anymore. It's really what we can all do in the internet. So we've broadened it out to what we call internet entrepreneurs of all stripes: landing page optimization, mobile and local opportunities for publishers and advertisers, lead gen, best practices, SEO tips and best practices. So I would venture to say every person in this room should see some topics that are of very much interest to you. Then, backed by popular demand, is PitchFest. And for those of you that have never been there, that's where entrepreneurs get up and they only have 3 minutes to pitch their idea. And we will have judges from Tech Coast Angel in addition to several others. And I will tell you, in Southern California, this has actually become a pretty popular event. They even have classes to train people how to sell an idea in 3 minutes. It's very interesting, and I've already had a couple people approach me as to what their ideas are, and I think they're outstanding, so that should be a lot of fun. Then on Thursday, we will have our keynote fireside chat. My comrade Scott will be talking with Biz Stone, who is the co-founder of Twitter. And just for those of you, just a couple interesting awards or things that he has won. One is he was named 2009 Nerd of the Year by GQ magazine. Don't we all want that, title? He was listed as one of the top most influential people by Time magazine and one of the top 10 most influential people in the information age by Vanity Fair magazine. He's also a wonderful humanitarian, so I think we're going to have a lot of fun talking to Biz. And of course, for a while, I was getting into kind of the foot race as to who's going to be the bigger play, Facebook or Twitter. And I suppose you all have ideas on that. But at any rate, needless to say, he's built something pretty major. Of course, on Thursday, for those of you that have never come to one of the auctions, please do. It's both interesting, it's really fun to watch. You also may get some very good domain names. And I will also say that we always love to see which domain names go big. So Monica always puts on a great show, and so I look forward to the auction. Then we start with the evening events, which I know a lot of you like. The first one is this evening, the dinner reception at Monsoon Cafe. It's being hosted by our friends at CEDO. Tim, I haven't seen you yet, but welcome. And also Paul Nix, who is our expert with GoDaddy. He will also be saying some words. And Tim specifically told me that he has a special announcement that he would like to make. So I'm encouraging all of you to attend, and Tim, I think we'll all be there. Then, tomorrow evening, we're going to the Peterson Automotive Museum, which is really the top automotive museum in the world. And another factoid for those of you that are rapper connoisseurs is the rapper B.I.G. had attended a party there several years ago, and as he was leaving, he was gunned down. Unfortunately, they rushed him to Cedars-Sinai, but he didn't make it. But that's one of the interesting facts. It was about 50 yards from the actual museum. And I think it was already mentioned this morning, but I will tell you, we get a special show of the GoDaddy commercial for Super Bowl Sunday. And we get to meet the new star from the GoDaddy.co Super Bowl commercial. I forget her name, not that that's important, right? But for those of you that want to get her autograph or want to have some special time with her, we'll have a lineup. Yeah, special time, yes. Okay, now stop. And for those of you that maybe don't have time to get to her, because I know she's going to be pretty popular, we have, I believe, 4 Playboy Playmates that will also be there. So we should have fun that evening. Now, at another conference I recently attended, which I won't name, someone came up to me and said, "Really? House of Blues? Hey, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us." I will tell you that President Obama just recently, several months ago, came to the House of Blues where he gave a fundraiser, and he requested the House of Blues because he said he had always heard so much about it and really wanted to attend. So it's actually a very fun place. And we're going to make it extra fun because we're going to have the Barbarella's Chamber of Dreams and featuring performance artists Lucent Dossier. And for those of you that have or have not ever seen Cirque du Soleil, this is like a sexy version of Cirque du Soleil. To give you just a feeling, this is the type of things we're going to see. And I think as we always do, we're also going to have some other, I guess I'd say, beautiful women walking around. So I don't think you'll be disappointed. Maybe us women will. Then the last thing I wanted to mention is I think this is the second domain for women hosted hour. And ladies, I just had to do something. So I talked to Matthew McConaughey, and he agreed to come. Now, I got to admit, last night at the Clippers game, my cell phone went off, and it was him saying, sorry, I can't make it. So he will not be here this year, but what I would like to say is I will do my best to try to get someone here next year. Although, by the way, I'm not a yoga type person, I'm more of a surfer. He does surf too, though. I thought I'd just spend a couple minutes on trends to watch, because that's something that everybody's kind of been talking about. I've already had 4 or 5 people come up to me and just talk about 2012 and what we think may happen. And I happen to think it's a real interesting time in our industry right now, in our life cycle. And the reason why is there's so many changes that have happened. Last year alone, now we have many more competitors. A lot of the people out here are our competitors. We have alternative monetization, which I think has only grown stronger over time. We have new traffic channels. I'm really intrigued by social, mobile, and some of the different areas that we're getting new traffic. And this morning, the talk on new TLDs. Obviously, some believe that's going to completely change the industry. So, granted, I'm an engineer at heart, but I believe technology innovation is key. I think just having a parked feed anymore isn't going to do it. I also think domain monetization is really becoming performance marketing, and I'll explain in the next several slides what I mean by that. But I think it's becoming much broader than just monetization of parked domains. Mobile matters. I specifically wanted to bring up this topic because at Oversea, 12 to 13% of our traffic is currently mobile, and it's growing quickly. And if you don't have a mobile process already in place, I think you're already falling behind. And one of the things we're looking at is what we call either mobile first or mobile ready, where anything we build basically either starts with mobile or at minimum is immediately doable on mobile. So we're actually changing our front-end framework. So anything we build at this point will work on an iPad, will work on a mobile device, or will work on the web. The other, I think, interesting point here, I don't know how many of you have thought about this, but I think about 18 months ago, we were all a little concerned in the industry because we thought with mobile, everybody's going to be using apps and no one's going to do direct navigation anymore. Well, actually, as you look at the statistics, I think that what's happening is that web and mobile are actually coexisting fairly well. And I think what you're seeing is a lot of people are actually doing more on the iPad and the mobile devices, but it's still a lot to do with web searches, information, et cetera. So I actually think that's good news for our industry, and I think the addition of the iPad has probably helped us there. Data. I must admit, I travel around, and one of the lectures I'm often asked to give is around data. At Oversea, we happen to have approximately 280 million unique visitors per month. You can imagine what we can do with that data. We look at seasonal and temporal ideas. We do semantic and machine learning. And we have a lot of business intelligence tools that we build. So I think there's a huge amount. I think what anyone in this audience could probably do is profiling, behavioral, demographics, historical, and it all leads to better targeting, which is really in the advertising world what it's all about. The other thing I would say, and I've already had several people reach out to me here, and I know several I'd like to reach out to, I think the development of partnerships in this area. There are a lot of us that have a lot of data, and we can help each other by continuing to share the data. So I think as we broaden our partnerships here, I think this is just a key area you might want to think about and talk to some of your comrades out here about ways to share data. Finally, web services. I believe it allows for acceleration of new partners and capabilities. Web services is actually a way to extend monetization. We use open APIs, common services, and open interfaces. And I'll show you in a couple slides a little more that we're doing at Oversea in this area. So one thing I wanted to say to everyone here is one of our good competitors, good friend of mine, loves to say, I'm one of the domainers. You guys are a big parking company. I'd like to make a little argument to that. We are one of you. We still own the largest portfolio of domains in the world. And I can tell you right now, every day, and my staff out there, luckily I can't see you because I'm sure you're rolling your eyes. Every day, I'm walking up to them and saying, what is this test showing? How's the optimization changing? How are we looking with these new tests that we're doing? And what we try to do is do all of these portfolio optimization, performance tests on our own O&O portfolio, and then we roll it out to the third-party network. So you're actually getting the advantage of seeing what we do, and sometimes we lose. Believe me, sometimes I've seen 20, 30% drops on traffic, but I've also seen 20 to 30% jumps in traffic. And so what we do is we do testing first on ourselves, and then we roll it out to you guys. We're seeing solid improvements in monetization, I think, again, across the industry. I know overseas working hard on it. I think Google has helped. They are actually helping with some Google keywords. But we are using our own technology and working with that. And I think we're going to see, continued improvement in monetization. I actually had several people approach me last night and say that they've seen an improvement there. We're looking at improved algorithms at the domain, keyword, and category levels. We're actually trying to spend a lot of effort right now in the category area, so we can actually categorize domains, put special keywords on, and then roll those out. We're also seeing publishers are starting to return. As they were going around, the rotators are now starting to return to us. We're expanding our reach to more publishers and advertisers. This is where we get into the CPA, CPV, lead gen. We're still all about PPC, but we've got a lot of other services that we're starting to offer out. It started out last year with the precision targeting engine. We are continuing to grow that and other opportunities. We have an entire division right now on lead gen and vertical build-outs. Finally, the performance marketing network allows for deeper engagement and better conversions. We are definitely seeing better conversions. Mobile matters. I'm not going to take the thunder away from mobile because we're actually having a panel discussion on it this afternoon. But if you look at some of these facts, and again, they'll probably show more this afternoon, it's staggering. The amount of, the one fact is 48.9 billion in 2010. We're going up to 86.1 billion in terms of mobile payments. Mobile ad revenue, it's growing in double-digit growth every year, and they expect it to be over 20 billion by the year 2015. Again, you need to, as they said this morning with the new TLDs, you need to embrace it because it's happening, and I think those that get ahead of the curve are going to be the real winners there. Location-based mobile. This is another interesting point that I'd love to hear from the group this afternoon. About 50% of the queries in mobile have local intent. So that obviously changes what you think about, both perhaps in terms of the domains that you buy and how you set it up. There's just a lot of location and geographic information that you'll want to go after. Here are some ideas that we're looking at, and I think most of you, if not all of you, could implement. Under mobile monetization, lander optimization, the other day we made some improvements in our landers and saw double-digit growth. Search and mobile ads. I think the click-to-call idea. Display ads. I had someone already reach me this morning and said, let's partner with you to go display on mobile. And selling mobile traffic. Obviously, we've had people reach out and say, hey, could you help us even get higher up on the App Store? So there's a lot you can do with mobile traffic. Targeted advertising. As I mentioned, you can go geolocation, better targeting. Another idea we've been thinking about is you might want to consider what domains you're buying, maybe more mobile-centric or local type of domains. And finally, app marketing. One of the questions I think I want to ask the team this afternoon is, how many of you are going to look at advertising versus building apps? I think the app marketing opportunities are huge, but one of the things I would recommend, because as we're starting with mobile, you need to have the analytics and measuring metrics to understand what you're really trying to track. And I think that's really key for all of these, but especially in the app marketing area. And again, you may want to start out with mobile. Instead of building another website, maybe build a mobile site first. Quick comments on data analysis. I just wanted to, I'm not planning to go through this chart with you, but I wanted to give you an example of things we're doing with data. Seasonal keywords. Weight loss is an example, huge in January because of the New Year resolutions. Also categorizing our keyword data. It allows us to make better lander selections. So we're starting to get into both the lander, keyword, and kind of all temporal, time of day, time of week, as well as the seasonal version. And finally, I found this one particularly interesting. Using machine learning language, we're actually tracking user inputs and targeting opportunities. So if we see someone type in, well, surfing, then we see either the landing page we can give them or different keywords. So we start changing what they see on the page based on what they're requesting. I actually had worked on this at another company I came from, and it really, really helps. So you might want to think about how you can do that to really get better targeting. Finally, this is a chart that I thought, someone asked me last night, they said, you know, the one thing I'd like to hear from Oversee this time is kind of how do you tie everything together? You've got the domain sponsor part, which does the parking. I've heard you've got lead gen part, but how does it really all tie together? And so Scott and I both thought this would be a good slide. It really shows what we are building and have built inside. Over to the left is all the traffic. And again, notice the social, the email. We've done a lot of effort. In fact, I have two of my comrades out here today that are building an email engine that can target across any site. We also then have built web services, and a couple of these are critical. We've got bid management through all of our SEM expertise that we've gotten throughout the vertical market division. We are also in the process of building something called Dragon Slayer, which is kind of our offer management. So as we learn about a person, learn about an environment, even again, we'll be adding demographics, et cetera, we can reach out and push the products out to the consumer. Email, again, with offer triggers. If someone comes through one of our travel sites and says they are coming from LAX, we can start targeting LA or local-based ads to them. Categorizer, traffic identification, that's becoming larger and larger. As all this traffic comes in, how do we categorize it and what do we do with it? User profiling and behavioral targeting, we've made some recent changes, and again, I know there's a lot of opportunity out there for everyone. And then finally, keyword discovery. This is where we integrate it into bid management. So again, we watch what consumers are doing, we take the keywords, we integrate it into the bid management. And then, of course, all of this works with our partners and ultimately our advertisers. So if you see domain sponsor is actually in the middle, but it includes all of our sites, all of our verticals, and our entire company. Finally, I want to thank our DFG ambassadors, Aaron, Corinne, Jessica, Stephanie, Marvin, and Jen. They are here to help you. I've been told not to have them stand up because they probably wouldn't even be out in the audience. They're busy working. But I will tell you, they've put on a great show as always. And so I really want to thank them. And again, if you need anything at all, reach out to them or myself or Scott, and we'll be happy to work with you. Finally, I was told, make some big, statement at the end. And, I said, no, I think I want to do almost just the opposite. I wanted to just say, I hope to meet each one of you. I hope to talk with all of you. Scott and I are around all week, and we're very open to new ideas, new partnership ideas, innovation. And I just wanted to use the simple words, let's partner, let's learn, because I think there's a lot of people here and a lot of different interests and backgrounds that we can learn from. And most importantly, let's have fun. Thank you.